Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. How are you?
Walaikum salam, Harain. I'm fine. What about you?
Alhamdulillah, ma'am. I'm also fine.
This is the lecture number 2 for the specific subject called Business Organizations in a Global Context. In lecture number 1, we did cover the learning outcome 1 completely, and in lecture number 2, we will do half part of LO3. Understand the impact of external factors on the global business organization. Now, this is the heading of we are discussing about the UK economy because this is given in the indicative content. That is why we're discussing UK, but when we will be doing the assignment classes, we will be discussing the UAE, USA, and other countries as well, most probably Swiss. Size matters according to the population, labor market, education, training levels. Now, what is the impact of it? The size of the UK population influences market potential, labor availability, and diversity. Education and training levels impact the skill pool. What is the example of it? Like a large and skilled workforce may attract global businesses, while a shortage can pose recruitment challenges. Why recruitment challenges occur when we are having a shortage of labor in the specific organization? Maybe because there are not enough skill or they just left the organization. The labor turnover was quite high in that specific organization. Then the other factor is growth, wealth, that is GNP, balance of payment, and inflation rates. Now, these three terms are related to economic factors. They also come under the external factors, but itself they are under the economic indicators or factors of it. Like the above we discussed, affect the overall economic health and stability. For example, if I discuss inflation rate at the moment, inflation rate has a very crucial or you can say sensitive relationship with the employment rate. When the inflation rate rises in the economy, XYZ economy, the unemployment rate also rises. Because when the hyperinflation comes, when the things got expensive, the unemployment level also gets expensive because it's not easy to hire people. High inflation may increase costs for the businesses, while a positive balance of payment indicates economic strength. And if we discuss BOP, it includes the current account, financial account, and capital account. These are the main factors, or you can say main jewels of any economy. If the balance of payment is positive in any of the economy, then this means it is a developing nation and it is getting developed. And GNP stands for gross national product. Then we have government borrowing, trade balance, and public finances. The impact is that the government borrowing and the public finances influences the economic policies, taxation, and public spending. Why? We are having a fiscal policy in the economics and in the economy as well, which is related to the government sector. Fiscal policy is basically when the government wants to increase the taxation plus the spending itself. They're going to take the taxes in the form of money, the form of taxes from the public, from the general public, and they're going to apply on them, as in making the street lamps, parks, hospitals. High government borrowing may lead to increased taxes, affecting the business cost and profitability. And if I talk about my country, Pakistan, we are already under debt. And this is the main reason we are always asking for the money from IMF and UCF. Then we have business confidence. Now, this includes the investment decisions, borrowing cost, and consumer spending. Consumer spending is directly related to the demand and supply of the economy, which is again related to the producers and consumer spending rate. During the periods of high business confidence, companies may expand, leading to increased demand for the goods and services. Then we have government policies. Now, in this, we have taxation, trade, regulations influence the business environment. When we're going to give relief to the businesses, they're going to come into our country. That is, we're giving them subsidies. Yeah. What is that? It is a relief. And in this way, the producers get easy and they share the amount with the consumers. For example, changes in the tax policies or the trade agreements can impact market competitiveness and profitability. Then we have a real world example related to the specific learning outcome too. It says about the Brexit and the UK business confidence. It was a very hot topic a few years back. What was the impact of it on the external factors? The UK's decision to exit the European Union, that is the Brexit, has influenced the business confidence. Uncertainty around the trade agreements, regulatory changes, and economic relation has impacted investment decisions and consumer confidence. I hope this example is clear because it's true. Now, coming towards the conclusion, it says external factors within the UK economy have a profound impact on the global business organization operating in the region. Understanding the dynamics of population size, economic growth, government policies, and business confidence is crucial for the business to adapt strategies, mitigate the risk, that is, eliminating them, and capitalize on the opportunities in the ever evolving economic landscape. Like, for example, if I even give example of Kuwait, they have the zero taxation policy in their country, and they are the most developed nation. It is very small country, but why it is? Because all the economic indicators they are applying absolutely fine over there. People are quite happy from the economy of that specific country. Then coming towards the learning outcome 2, assessment criteria 2.1, it says evaluate the benefits and challenges to the global business operations from the external factors. So we will be discussing the benefits and challenges side by side, keeping in mind that you have to focus on the command verb that is evaluate, because it is very necessary and the indicative context. And evaluate is all about strengths, weaknesses, similarities, and differences. The first benefit is about the technological factors. Transport revolution. Improved transportation facilitates the global supply chains, reducing the lead times. Definitely, when we're having a good transport system, supply chain system, this means we're going to have reduction in delivery process and the people are going to get more happier. And in the same way, the producers as well. Information and communication. Enhanced connectivity enables real-time communication, collaboration, and market access. That is, it is way too necessary that we should have an up-to-date information, knowledge, both at the same time. Challenges of the transport revolution and the information and communication. The dependency on the global transportation networks may increase vulnerability to disruptions. And the best example could be the time or the era of COVID pandemic, like COVID-19. Transportation was stopped. Whatever we were having in our country, in our cities, in our district, it was related to only us. We cannot move from one place to another. Things were restricted. Each and everything was, even the air transport was blocked. Why was that so? Because we were totally depending on the by road transportation and by air transportation. Now we have opted for the online communication channels as well. And in this way, we are doing things uh, like according to an AI. Then we have economic factors. The benefits of these are increasing incomes, global trade, and world financial markets. Now, we will be discussing these one by one. Growing the global incomes expand the consumer markets and purchasing power. That is very true. When we are going to expand the industry, the market all over the globe, not we are not going to be restricting our organization on the national level, then the consumer pattern is going to be increased as well. Global trade, access to diverse market enhances market potential as well. World financial markets increase access to the capital and investment opportunities. This point is related to the stock exchanges. When we're going to when we are going to list our organization in the stock exchange, as a private or public organization, then there are chances of more investment in the organizations. And we are going to proceed further. We can expand, we can diversify. The challenges are about the market forces. Market forces are the demand and supply. Okay. Economic downturns and recessions in the key markets can impact sales. That is, when the any disruption or economic, you can say, foreseen um, tragedy happens, even the you can take the recent example, the Gaza in Israel. The McDonald's sales has been reduced a lot, and even the Starbucks as well. So it is a real example, and it actually applies in the country as well and the organizations. When the global competition, intensified competition may lead to pricing pressure. When we are going to have a very intense kind of competition in the industry, specific industry, then we are going to have competition in the markets. Maybe if the organization A reduces the price for an XYZ product, then it is liable for the organization B to reduce the prices. They cannot increase the prices because the customers always prefer less prices. Then the social factors, the benefits are the consumerism. It says growing the consumer demands create market opportunities. Definitely, when we're going to produce good products, qualitative products, and diversified products, they are going to invest in us by buying and purchasing. Convergence in consumer taste, standardization of products for the global appeal. Like in Pakistan, our most of the export is banned. Why? Because we compromise on the quality. Then education and skill access to a skilled global workforce. This is the only reason why UK, USA, and Canada they are having these skilled worker visas as well. Why? Because they appreciate the people who are skilled, who other than standing on a mart, standing on McDonald's, KFC, they can actually contribute to the economy. Environmental conservation. Recognition of sustainability can align with the consumer preferences. Now, what is sustainability? Making things more sustained for a longer period of time so that our future generation can get benefit of it. And here we can discuss the 17 SDGs as well. Understanding other languages and cultures facilitates effective communication and localization. That is very necessary. In one organization, there are Chinese, there are Japanese, there are Saudis, many diverse people are working in one roof. So we have to respect each other and we have to see from which culture and background they are. The challenges are environmental conservation. Now, compliance with varying environmental regulations. That is, everything should be under the regulations, rules and regulation related to the government, and then the organization should proceed according to it. Understanding the other languages and cultures, the challenge could be misunderstandings may impact marketing strategies. That is again true. That is why it is always preferred, if I talk about the Germans, they always prefer those people who are excelling in the German languages. The public universities are free, they hire more people, the employment rate is more high for those people, for the foreigners who already knew the German language. Then we have political factors, the benefits are reduced trade barriers. Now, what are the trade barriers? In general, any idea? Restrictions. A kind of restrictions, yes, trade barriers could be restrictions as well. Now, facilitates the smoother cross-border trade. You told me that these are the restrictions. These are the restrictions with those countries which are not under the trade blocking. Now, maybe you must not be knowing that what are the trade blockings. Trade blockings or the trade blocks. These are those countries which are unified with one and each other. For example, the Gulf state is a one nation, as in one barrier from the other nation. For example, if the Saudi Arab countries boycott from Israel or other nations that they're not going to supply oil to them, then do you think that these countries can literally go ahead and work? They cannot because their economy, the American, the Chinese, the European Union, they are depending on the oil production. And it is only provided to us by the Saudi government. Intellectual property rights. Now, the protection of innovations and creations, that is the USP, unique selling point. When we're going to be competitive in the industry, in the market, we're going to produce new and unique things. For example, there was no concept of solar system, you can say 20, 30 years back. There were windmills. People used to get and generate electricity from the windmills as well, and the normal water and oil electricity. But now, because they have innovate the solar systems as well, so the taxations are liable on it. Privatization. Open the opportunities in previously closed markets. For example, again, I'm going to talk about my own country, Pakistan, that the railway system was first public. Now it is privatized. What benefit it gave to the local people? When you make the thing privatized, it is going to be expensive. Why? Because the quality is going to be improved, the security is going to be improved, the environment is going to be improved. That is the reason. When it is a general thing, it's a public, it's free, or we are giving it for less money, it's going to be full of cheap people. That we have global strategies, that is government may support global business expansion. That is again true. When we want to expand our business on a multinational level, we have to take the permissions from the FBRs, from the ISPRs, from the customers, what do we call that? Customs, from the customs as well, the people of customs. The challenges of the political factors are reduced trade barriers. Changes in trade policies can disrupt established supply chains. That is, when we are going through one thing, everything is going perfect, and a disruption causes. That is what even happened in the Brexit. When the UK got out of it, the other country faced the problem. Intellectual property rights, enforcement challenges in the same vein, technical standards, regulation, legislation, the compliance cost and complexities. What is compliance cost and complexities? Every nation is having their own regulations and authorities related to the governmental sector. When we're not going to abide by it, we are going to face problems or heavy taxations from the people of government. And that's it. The last thing is assessment criteria 2.2. It says review the measures taken by the government to influence the activities of global business organization. Now, again, all the points are mentioned in the indicative content, keeping in mind the command verb. The review means you are going to think, make the things in detail, as in explain in detail. And the question is measures taken, that is, steps, precautions taken by the government to influence the activities of global business organization. That is, how they influence it, how they may marketize it, advertise it. Governments employ a variety of measures to influence the activities of global business organizations. Here is a review of some key government policies and measures. The first one is the monetary policies. If I discuss in general that what monetary policy is, it is related to the interest rate and supply of money. Monetary policy is what? It is all about the interest rates and supply of money. Supply is something we ask from the producers and it gets generated. This is a very simple concept of supply. And money is the cash we get from the state banks. Interest rate. The interest rate is what about the things which is related to the banking system, the interest rates. When we borrow money from the bank, they charge a specific amount from us that if you get a money or a loan of 20,000, we are going to charge you 2% of interest rate. So I'm sure you have an idea of banking system. You guys are going to have a bank accounts.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Vera. Interest rates. Central banks use the interest rates to control inflation, stimulate the economic growth, or cool down an overheated economy. Now, all these factors or the terms which I'm using, interest rates, inflation, economic growth, overheated economy, what are these? If I take example of my country, Pakistan, we are actually facing this problem. The interest rates are abnormal, and it is an actual term, abnormal interest rates. In the same, we have abnormal inflation rates as well, and in the same way, we have hyperinflation rates as well. Why do we have this? We have this because the economy is run by stupid people. They are not controlling the proper marketing strategies, nor the government sector, nor even the political sector, nor even the private sector. That is why we are facing this problem. Coming towards directly the lecture, changes in the interest rates can affect borrowing costs for the business and consumer spending. Why? When the economy fluctuates, for example, any economic disaster hit our economy, uh, God forbid, what will happen? The interest rate is going to fluctuate. It is going to be increased. It's going to be double, triple, and it will be a huge amount for the organization company to recover it. It is not easy for the companies to recover these interest rates because they have already taken heavy amounts of loans. Quantitative easing. In times of economic downturn, that is, what is a downturn in economics, in the economy, in our nation, in our country? It is when the economy recesses, it decreases, it is not growing or blooming. Government may implement quantitative easing to increase the money supply and lower the interest rates further. That is, again, the same thing which we are facing in Pakistan. The government starts to print more money. When they starts to print more money, what happened? Inflation rate high increases, interest rate increases, unemployment increases. The whole disruption goes on because we have to satisfy people. People need money. They need cash. They need to buy things and stuff for the needs and wants. Quickly moving towards the fiscal policies. In the fiscal policy, I discussed it earlier as well. It includes the government sector, the taxation, and the spending thing. The spending. The first factor is spending. Government can influence the economic activity through public spending on infrastructure, education, healthcare, and other sectors. How? By taking the taxes from the common people. Increased government spending can boost demand and stimulate economic growth. Now you can all relate these things to all together with one by one. They are all having a direct relationship or a proportional relationship. That is, when we're going to increase the public spending, what will happen? The people are going to get happy, although we are giving them the taxes. But, like for example, Canada, they take heavy taxes from the consumers, but they're providing us free healthcare, free education, a good environment, and so on. Public sector borrowing. Governments may borrow funds to finance projects or cover budget deficit. Budget deficit is what? When we're not having enough budget and we go down and we start borrowing, impacting interest rates and the overall economic environment. Taxation. Tax policies can affect business or profitability and investment decision. Why? Because nobody wants to pay a lot of taxes. Like even the UAE, they don't charge taxations from us from the people. But what they're giving us in return, they're charging us high amounts for each and everything. Changes the corporate taxes, income taxes, or value added taxes. Now, these are the kinds of taxes. Corporate taxes are related to the organization. Income taxes is the tax which the tax is cut before having the proper amount. For example, if my pay was 60 lakhs, 10 lakh is going to be deducted. Or value added taxes, the things which we get in the market, they are added with the GST, MRP prices, and they include the taxes as well. So they influence the business operation as well. Then we have competition policy. Government implement competition policy to ensure fair competition, prevent monopolies. Monopolies are what? Monopoly are those or oligopolies. These both people or the organizations are the one which sell the unique products in the market, and they can charge whatever they want. For example, in Pakistan, the WABDA, they can charge as much amount as they want from the people. They exploit people and protect the consumer interest, which is not true in our case. Antitrust laws and regulatory bodies are established to monitor and enforce competition law, and this is actually applicable in the developed nations like China, Japan, America, and Canada, UK even. Sector regulation, regulatory bodies such as Ofgem Energy, these are the actual names. Ofqual Education Qualification, Ofgas, these are related to the UK because we are discussing the UK economy right. Then CAAA, that is Civil Aviation Authority, Ofcom, communication related, and the UK oversees specific industries. Similar bodies exist in other countries as well, and globally there are regulatory frameworks to ensure compliance with the standards and fair practices as well. Then we have skills agenda and apprenticeships. Now, this is all about the governments often focus on the workforce development through the skills agenda. That is, we are going to have a thought behind our mind. We are going to hire few people in the industry, in the government sector. They are going to provide us with specific proposal, and in this, the term apprenticeships, we call it agenda. Other than that, in the general language, we call it a proposal. Now, this includes the initiatives, that is the startup steps, to enhance education and training, and apprenticeships and align skills with the needs of the business sector. Now, when we are going to apply each and everything, that is, we are going to educate people, we are going to train them, that is by giving an employment opportunity to them, and then promoting the agenda, the apprenticeships into them, then they are going to be blooming up and they are going to definitely benefit our nation as well. And if they go out, if they are going to do brain drain, that is leaving your country and going out for more better perspectives and better future, then they are going to show this agenda to those people that this perspective we are working on it. And the people which opt for the skills worker visa, they specifically work on these terms. And that's it. So it is important to note that the effectiveness of these measures can vary based on the economic context, global conditions, and implementations of the policies. Additionally, international organizations such as the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Trade Organization, WTO, and UNICEF as well, play roles in shaping the global economic policies and regulations. So, what is actually the main thing? The UNICEF, the World Trade Organization, and IMF, They actually make the policies. We as a Pakistan, even India, they are not governed by their own prime ministers or the president. The policies are already made because we are taking loan from them. When we are taking loan from them, they add the strings to those loans. Now, what are strings? Added things, for example, we cannot make our dam by our own self. If the IMF is gonna give the permission, only then we can make the dam. In the same way, like China, they are helping us in each and everything. And you won't believe that Gavadir is so beautiful, so pretty, and it has everything in it, like luxuries, houses, like literally we name it and we have that in Gavadir. But as a Pakistani, we cannot access that place. The access is given only to the Chinese people. They are working over there. Each and everything is going on there. So the main thing was that apart from this course, everything is controlled by these bodies, IMF, UNICEF, and WTO. They are working on us, and specifically the developing nations. They don't want that we should grow further. We should be developed because if we start getting to be developed, we are going to stand by America or Japan or China. What will happen? We can become a superpower, and don't no country want that, and literally nobody wants that in reality as well. So this was the whole concept. These are the few terms as well, which you should have a know-how. And these are the references where you can take help. And that's it. Any questions?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
No.
Okay. Thank you so much. You may leave the class.